of my photography is shot on film, and so naturally when it comes to my video work, I like to try and emulate the film look there as well. And I've played around with a handful of film emulation tools in the past: Cineprint 16, Film Vision, even the baked-in film profiles in Davinci like the Kodak 2383 look. So naturally when the Dehancer team reached out to me and asked if I wanted to take their Davinci Pro plugin for a spin, I said heck yes. I took the camera out to the golf course, got some footage, and I just want to walk you through the process of using Dehancer. If you're not familiar with it, it is a comprehensive suite of film emulation tools. So you've got real film grain, 60 different accurate color profiles, and a handful of different optical effects to help you get your digital footage to look a lot like film. And it's super easy to use. So let's go ahead and dive into Davinci and walk through how to get the film look in a few clicks. All right, we're in Davinci Resolve. We're in the color panel, and we're gonna grade some footage using Dehancer. So first thing you're gonna do is click on Effects, and this is assuming Dehancer's downloaded, uploaded to Davinci. It's a pretty straightforward process. You just follow their manual, and then once it's in Davinci, you just search Dehancer in the effects, and you drag it onto a node. And this is one of the things that I don't love about Dehancer, is that it kind of deep fries your footage on the initial go. So don't get freaked out by this. Obviously, we're going to make a lot of changes. The thing that I really like is that usually you'd have to do a color space transform in an entirely different node, but Dehancer makes it really easy. So all you do is go to choose camera and then select your vendor. So I shot this on a Fujifilm, an X-T5, shot on an F-Log2. And yeah, now you're set with your color space transform right here in Dehancer. So another one of the things that I don't love about Dehancer is that it pops open a bunch of these tabs right away. So you can just go Option click to close all of them in one go. And one of the areas where we're gonna start is with our print type. So depending on the look you go for, you could use Kodak 2383. You'll see it'll start pretty drastically changing the look. A lot of times I like the Kodak Endura glossy paper for the print. Again, still not looking great, so we're gonna make some changes, and we're gonna start with our type of film. So right now it's set to Kodak Vision 3 250D. Again, you have like 60 plus options here of different film stock emulations that you can choose. Some Cinestill, some Fuji, obviously Kodak, even some Ilford if you want to go black and white. Yeah, you've got a lot of options. So one of the ones that I've really come to love is this Kodak Vision 3 500T. Yeah, just a really good look, really nice filmic vibe to it. So that's what we're going to go with to grade this footage. So Kodak Vision 3 500T, and now we get to start playing around in Dehancer. So a bunch of different options in here. You've got your film developer. You can adjust the contrast. And it's interesting, we'll walk through it. You can adjust contrast and gamma and color and highlights and shadows in a handful of different areas in here, and you'll see that they have kind of different effects. So really have come to get comfortable with Dehancer by just playing around with it. So one of the big things that we can check here is film compression, and you'll see over here as we check it that it really drops down the highlights quite a bit. And this is another area where we can bring up the color density or drop it down, but we'll actually save that for back in the print section. As far as expand goes, this is where you can kind of dial in some contrast if you want by dropping the black point down or bringing it up, by dropping the white point down or bringing it up. Again, yeah, getting some contrast dialed in. You can do it all in Dehancer, which is pretty cool. So that added quite a bit of contrast, as you can see. And then back in print, this is where we can kind of play with some exposure if we want to raise it up or bring it down. This is also where we can a little more subtly adjust some color density. So I will bring this up a little bit. I will also bring the contrast up a bit, stretching things out. Again, we're starting to develop a pretty solid look here already in just a few clicks. So another big thing is film grain. The default is this 35mm ISO 250. As you can see here, it's pretty darn strong. Usually I don't like to go that strong with the film grain, even though Dehancer has a really nice natural film grain. So I usually will drop it down to ISO 50 on the 35mm just because that's a little bit of a finer grain. And I'll usually bring the amount down to 20. I should have mentioned this at the beginning. I'll actually come in and uncheck this as I go through and make my edits, because that's another kind of hiccup with Dehancer, is that if you have the film grain on, it really slows down your playback on your footage. So I will turn it off in order to help with playback quite a bit. And I would encourage that you do that too. But then, yeah, whenever you're ready to export, you can come back in and check it, and it'll add your film grain for you. Another couple tools that you can use, some optical effects. You can add some halation, which this is a little bit strong. It warms up the image quite a bit, so I'll usually dial this back a bit. And then you can also add some bloom, which will add some fringing around the highlights, which I think is really nice. It's pretty subtle, as you can see as I check this on and off. Subtle difference, but usually I will add that as well. You can start to get creative too with some of these things, like the film breath and damage, the gate weave. Sort of adding some effects. Like if you wanted to check this, it'll kind of do the punch in and out, the natural look that you get when you're actually shooting with like a 35mm film. You can select from 8mm, 16mm, and usually you would only do this if you're going to pair it with like one of these overscans. So if you want to really get creative and go with this, like overscan 35mm frame look, which I think is really cool. So for a lot of the B-roll, for this video, I'm just going to go ahead and check it and just really lean into that film look. So a lot of other options in here. I'm not going to touch on everything. The other one that I will touch on is this vignette function. You can make vignettes a lot of different ways in Davinci Resolve. This one's really easy, so you can go ahead and enable it. And what I would suggest, because this darkens it quite a bit, that changes your exposure quite a lot. And part of the reason is because as you drop the feather down, you'll see that that circle is pretty tight in here. So usually what I'll do is I'll adjust the aspect ratio to come a little bit more ovular, and then I'll just increase the size to bring it out a little bit more, so that really I'm just like darkening the corners of the frame in order to draw attention to the center, and then I'll bring my feather back up. So as you can see, that is a little bit more subtle, and then I'll even increase the exposure a little bit to make it less intense, but just a little bit of a subtle vignette to again draw the attention to the center. And we've got a look. This is a film emulation vibe that I got in a matter of clicks using one node, all of this done straight in Dehancer. Again, a lot of different ways that you can use Dehancer. You can dial in your look using a series of nodes, again, using a color space transform to get to a baseline if you want. You can do your contrast and your color balance and all of those things in separate nodes, and then you can just come into Dehancer at the end and add your film look and add your film grain and some of those optical effects if you want. I just wanted to show y'all a way to do everything straight in the plugin. Again, you can get a lot more detailed playing around with the wheels and the curves and all the things that Davinci has to offer, which are awesome. But this is just a way, if you're looking for something pretty quick and easy, to dial it all in a few clicks in the plugin. So we'll do one more before and after. As you can see, quite a bit of difference done in a couple minutes just playing around in Dehancer. We can go ahead and slap this onto another clip and make some adjustments. We'll see how it looks. So for this second clip, it's already looking pretty good. I don't really know if there's much that I need to change. Main things being I'll probably just come in and adjust the position some, move it around, make sure that everything is framed up right. I like that look. I think I might just leave that as is. Again, you can adjust however much you want to. You can use Dehancer in any capacity you want to, whether it's just putting the finishing touches on a film look or going on a start to finish grade like I just did for you. Again, it's kind of a choose your own adventure. But Dehancer is really powerful. The fact that you can get like a really natural film grain and you can get some really solid film looks and film profiles all, again, in a couple clicks. Again, like I mentioned at the beginning, the fact that you can do a color space transform in here as well is super powerful. So it's an awesome tool. I love using it. It's made color grading super easy for me. I often will use it as kind of the finishing touches where I'll go dial in a grade, I'll do my color space transform in a handful of different nodes, and then I'll put the finishing touches on here, which is what I've seen a lot of people do on these reviews on YouTube. So just wanted to take it a different route and show you how you can do everything internally in the plugin. So The other thing you can do, there is a code in the description of this video. I think it's just Logan10. You can go plug it in to Dehancer in the checkout. It'll give you 10% off if you choose to buy the plugin. The beauty too of Dehancer and Davinci, it's a little bit of an upfront cost. I think Dehancer, the full pro plugin for Davinci, is like just under $500. Davinci itself is a few $100. The nice thing though is that for both of those, you buy it once and you have it for life. So if you want to use a tool like Dehancer to use for your color grading for the foreseeable future, and definitely if you want to run with Davinci for this foreseeable future, the nice part about that is if you're buying Dehancer and Davinci in one go, you're spending about the same as you would on Adobe Creative Cloud for a year. And yeah, I think that's running like $60 a month right now. So you end up spending about the same on, again, the full Dehancer Pro plugin and the full Davinci Resolve Studio. You end up spending about the same as you would spend on Adobe Creative Cloud in a year, but you have it for life. So yeah, again, choose your own adventure with this stuff. These are all just tools at the end of the day, and they are a means to the end being making beautiful images that you are excited about. So I love using Dehancer to accomplish that. It's super easy. Allows me to, again, get that film look that I'm really going for in a matter of clicks. So yeah, hope this is helpful.